Oh, this one is not true anyway. Encourages division managers to only recommend their most conservative projects. No, it actually encourages them to recommend riskier projects. Maximizes total value created for its shareholders. No, it does not. Because if you're discounting a very risky project at a lower rate than it should be, you are estimating you are at the risk of accepting some negative NPV projects. They may look positive NPV because you're using a lower rate than you should, but if you had used the right discount rate for the risky projects, it would have been negative NPV. So using the same rate would actually decrease value for the firm. It definitely would not increase. Allocates capital funds evenly amongst its divisions. No, we don't know that. That depends upon the divisions. So it gives preferential treatment to riskiest divisions. All else constant, which of the following will increase the after-tax cost of debt of a firm? If the yield to maturity of a firm's outstanding debt increases, that increases pre-tax cost of debt. Hence, it increases after-tax cost of debt. So 1 is correct. 2, of course, if it decreases, the reverse will happen. If the firm's tax rate increases, that, everything else being the same, decreases the after-tax cost of debt. Of course, if the firm's tax rate decreases, the other way, so it's going to be 1 and 4. We have one estimated cost of equity for a firm based on dividend growth model, and a second estimated cost of equity based on CAPM. What estimates should be used? We already talked about that. Their average. This is true for a lot of stuff in life. If you have multiple ways to figure out or estimate something, always use the average. Because unless you have a real good reason to prefer one over the other. But in many cases, you're not going to. Otherwise, why would you do it for 3 different ways? Cost of preferred stock. Let's just write it here. Is equal to dividend over price. If the price of the stock increases, cost will decrease. Is equal to the stock's dividend yield. That is correct. Unaffected by changes in the price of stock. That is not correct. It's never constant over time, and it has nothing to do with firm's tax rate, because preferred stock for tax purposes is the same as equity, even though technically it's a debt instrument. This is one of the definitions. A firm has multiple divisions of similar nature, yet varying degrees of risk. To assign required rates of return in the simplest manner possible, and yet address the differences among the divisions, firms should use the subjective approach. Subjectively, you say, okay, this one is a little bit more riskier. Cost of capital of a project depends primarily on the division within the firm that undertakes the project. Not primarily, so that's false. It's basically cost of capital of the firm and the relative difference between the division and the firm. In an efficient market, which means assets are priced on the security market line. A security with a beta of 1.03 will have a rate of return that plots above SML just to the right of market return. Now, if it's efficient, it does plot on the SML. Don't remember this. I'm going to say false, but you can read it in the book. That is the definition of cost of equity. Now, it does depend. It doesn't depend on the source of the funds. It depends upon the source of the funds for the firm, because those rates that we're using are where sources are coming from. That's also false. The return that lenders require on firms' borrow fund is called firms' cost of debt. You could also say pre-tax cost of debt. That's it. Why can't I submit it? Oh, I have to go to 28. Oh, we haven't done 16. Oh, we have done it. I just apparently didn't enter it. Let's see. Apparently that was false. For the descriptive stuff, don't take me for granted. Read the book. The rest, it looks like I've done all right. Why is that not correct? I think we've done it here. Maybe I entered numbers incorrectly. That should be correct. Unless I'm missing something. No, that should be correct. Oh, I know why. I expect those things as 25.83. Or Blackboard expects it as percent like that. So 0.2583 is not correct. But when I manually look at those, I correct those. All right? That's pretty much all I'm going to say. I already posted chapter 12. You have till next Wednesday to do it. As you know, we do not have a final exam. So once you're finished with chapter 12, you're going to actually pretty much see your grade, right? I'm going to enter the last attendance numbers. And there's a column that says, because of privacy issues, I don't want to show it. There's a column that says semester score. If that number is over 90, you have an A, as it is now, without completing anything else. If it is over 80, you have at least a B. But as you complete assignments that you haven't done, that number is going to update. It assumes that whatever you haven't done yet, it is a 0. I gave all of you guys a homework score of 100%. Some of you is already at an A, so you know that you don't have to do anything else. I have a column that says letter grade. If it's guaranteed that you're going to have an A, I already put an A in there. That means you're done. You can concentrate on other stuff, all right? But if you're below 90, as it is now, you need to do some more to make sure that you have an A, all right? And I haven't updated, on those of you who are here, whatever I had for attendance before stands. It's going to change for those people who didn't come today without an excuse. But for you guys, nothing's going to change. If you already see an A, you're done. All right. I will see you guys around next semester. Anybody taking my class in the fall? Any of my classes?
You're the only professor that is offered that class.
Which class?
It's like it's finance.
I teach finance, you
I
know.
can't think. It's finance 3.
What does it teach?
I couldn't even tell you. I haven't even looked into
Entrepreneurial
it too
finance?
much. What?
Is it 310?
Maybe 310 or 3/3. Maybe in the 3/3 is
What's your major?
finance, banking, and managerial.
Oh, okay, those are electives.
Okay.
I can check which one you're in. It's not difficult.
It's like 11 to 12:15 is what